and welcome back to another video. This is part of a new series that I have been researching on and working on so hardly. Well, yeah, so hardly. I've been working on it so hard over the last 2 to 3 months, I want to say, of gathering information for this video. If you have not read the title of this video, I am going to be making cookies today. Before we get started in the video, I will have you know that this series is going to be known as the junk food series. And you may say, hey, I thought you weren't going to be doing much junk food anymore. Well, I'm not. I'm basically going to be making copycat recipes or recipes inspired by the junk food. And not everything you think is junk food, but this is just what I put for the qualifications. Anyways, I'm going to give you some background knowledge and then we're going to get right into the baking. I picked cookies, and I want to say this because it's probably one of the oldest things that I have on my list, like regular cookies versus what I'm actually making, completely different. So cookies were, like the word was first around like the 7th century when the word cookie came around, and it was associated with the Persians, and cookies were not this like sweet, sugary, like pancake looking cake thing at the time. They were more bland, kind of crispy, and just like not good. I mean, they were good, but they were more like biscuits more than cookies. So fast forward to 1995, which is it was based off of is Lofthouse company. In 1995, David and Deanne Stone came up with the Lofthouse company and started making these cookies while just fooling around with the recipe. Now, I know a lot of people that call these cookies fat cookies because they make you feel fat. But the way that I make them today might make you think different. Now, I'm not going to be making them, unfortunately, with the iconic pink frosting because I seem to be having some time that with food dye, especially like things with food dye in them, I can tell the taste of food dye for some reason. Like, I'm very sensitive to that. So I'm going to be doing, I think, either yellow or blue for that. And I have the recipe right here for it and everything that we're going to be using to make the cookie dough. The cookie dough does need to chill for approximately an hour before it can be used. So hopefully I can do that today and I don't have to do this over the course of 2 days. I already preheated the oven to 350, even though it will probably be like 2 hours from now that I actually get to bake the cookies. Anyways, some of the ingredients that we will need is cake flour. Make sure that it is cake flour and not all-purpose flour. There is a difference. It says on the box what the differences are, but I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, you probably use this for cakey, more fluffy things versus all-purpose flour, which is for all-purpose. And it even has a recipe on the back of the box, so you know there might be a recipe from a box video coming up in the future with this. Also, you need some cornstarch. And yes, there's a recipe on the back of this, but I would never use this recipe because it's a gravy recipe. I don't really prefer gravy that much. You got some baking powder, some vanilla extract, and some almond extract. I think they said you don't have to use both, but it would be best to prefer with the sweetness of it. And of course, on top of it, why not add something more sweet than white sugar, and also some room temperature butter. You are going to need at least 1 egg, and let's see here, oh, and also some sour cream and some salt. Before anybody asks me, if you have not watched previous videos, you know that sometimes these videos can get really choppy. Also, these are my first time making this recipe, and I may or may not do things wrong because I am not a professional at this, so just so you all are aware. Also, for the choppiness is because I do not want to blend while recording because sometimes that can be a little irritating for the headphone users, so I cut that part out, but trust me when I say that I'm blending things together smoothly. Anyways, so the first thing I gotta put in here is some butter. It is right in front of me here. It's a half cup. I mean, this is less than half a cup, but that's because I kind of am like squeezing for butter. And also, I need to put in here, I am trying to figure out this. Let's see here. Put some food. I forgot I'm doing. You know how like sometimes when they do recipes, they tend to want you to keep the liquids and the dries separated until like the very last moment. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't know why. That's just me. So it says beat the butter and sugar together until well combined. So for sugar, I really should have written the recipe down, but I was busy at school today. It's a 3/4 cup, so grab that here. My measuring cups, they're so awesome. So I can still use a cup, like a 1 cup, but it has like the measurements on the inside. I know it's very difficult to see. Can you see them? You can see that a little bit there, like 1 cup. It has measurements on the inside. Yeah, sugar's been sitting for a while. So we got 3/4 cup here. I don't like the clumps, but it's whatever. So I'm going to cream that together here in just a moment. Here's what that looks like, just in case anybody's wondering what I'm doing. I wish I had one of those cameras, you know, you could put overhead, but I think that I'm a more prettier view than looking at that. I will always show you that I'm getting. Next, we have to put in the egg. I will grab the egg in just a second because it's in the fridge. Also, we need to put in a 1/2 teaspoon, I think. I'm trying to read this. Where is it at? Yeah, a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I gotta make sure that I put the correct numbers on here because for some reason mine puts the milliliters on before it tells you the actual teaspoon sizes. I'm from the US, people. So there's the vanilla. I bet you can see it very well. And then for the teaspoon, I think it's my first time using this almond extract in a video. Or at all, because I'm not somebody who usually uses that. And it goes. Probably to make it extra sweet, because these are going to be really soft, I guarantee ya. There's the egg. Beautiful, right? And now to blend again. Next, I'm going to do the dry ingredients. I know that sour cream is a wet ingredient, but I'm gonna save that for last just because I don't want to make too many dishes for myself tonight. And also, the dry and the liquid ingredients thing, it makes 0 sense to me because sugar is a dry ingredient, but yeah, it was the first one to be put in. So now I'm gonna put in the salt and the baking powder, if I can get my recipe to go back up here. So baking powder, I need a 1/2 teaspoon, and salt, I need a 1/2 teaspoon as well. So here's my baking soda. There we go. Baking powder, sorry, not baking soda. Don't do that. If you're following along with me, don't listen to me. Just see what's on the screen, because I would hate for you to mess up based off of something that I said. And then the salt, which is probably going to make a mess everywhere for me, because usually I don't measure this out, but because of this recipe, I'm going to. Here's the salt. And next we need, what do we need next? We need to put in the cornstarch and the flour. Cornstarch, 1.5 tablespoons. It's actually the first time that we're using this cornstarch, and it's open only because I was testing to make sure that it still worked. Ooh. So there's one. Someone tell me down below, what is cornstarch used for? I only took one cooking class when I was in high school, and that was the one you take as an incoming freshman, as a senior. And so I don't know what all these ingredients are used for. But I have becoming one with knowledge since I work at the school now. And then for the cake flour, it is going to be 2 cups, and I'm going to put those in there, and I'm going to do it while I'm blending so it is nicely mixed together, and then we will go from there. Flour gets everywhere, and I love baking, but I hate the flour part because it gets everywhere. So that is what it looks like now with 2 cups of cake flour in it. It looks a little dry and a little moist. The last thing I gotta do is add 1/4 cup of sour cream. I know this looks weird because I scooped it out with the measuring spoon, but I once again don't wanna make more dishes than I have to already. I'm probably gonna have to clean these in between. Anyways, so I'm gonna scoop this in. I'm gonna blend it, and then this needs to be chilled in the fridge for exactly 1 hour or more if I fall asleep in between takes here. And then I will be baking them so we can finally get on our way here to seeing these in full form. I want sour cream. It's weird. I've never used sour cream in a recipe before like this, especially for baking, until today. Ta-da! I missed the step, but it should be okay. I was supposed to flatten down the sides so that it would all be in one clump together, but I think it will be okay with that. So I have prepped my pans. It looks crumbled up like that because I was getting frustrated that it wasn't staying down flat. And I remember one of those weird, 5-minute craft life hacks or whatever, where just crumble it up because you're gonna be using it anyways. I'm so sorry. So here's what we're doing. I'm scooping on. It said it yields about 12 large cookies, but let's see exactly if that's what it is. I'm supposed to be powdering my hands with powdered sugar other than flour. I don't know why, but so the dough doesn't stick to my hand when I roll it into a ball. So this will be quite interesting. I'm gonna scoop them out first and then I'll roll them all together because I don't want the powdered sugar getting everywhere. Oh, this stuff is dense. By the way, I have not tasted this yet. I know some people, they like doing sneak peek tasting behind their cooking or baking or whatever. I didn't with this one because I didn't want to know. This might take me a moment to get these all scooped out. This is difficult. Holy cow. Okay, here we go. I got 2 so far. I'll scoop these out and I'll come right back. I just swapped this floor and I just got powdered sugar on it. So I got them in balls here. There's 6 on here and 6 on the other. I think I might have done them a little bit bigger than they were supposed to be. That's why my 6 over here probably gonna be smaller than these ones. I could have swapped them, I think. But I'm gonna now powder my hands. I got a ball of powdered sugar here because it came out like this. And I'm gonna roll these into balls, and then I'm gonna flatten them down with my cup here to make them flat, because I guess in the recipe they don't want them rolled out. I'm gonna do that real quick. I won't be able to touch my phone after I start here, so I'll be right back. I now understand why bakers wear aprons, because my shirt was just covered in it. I got my bowls, both of them. Those ones are still smaller than others, and they do get sticky from time to time. So I'm going to dip this cup into this now. This doesn't want to stick to the cup, but I gotta flatten these out so they're like a little bit flatter. Hopefully they don't stick, but we might have a slight problem with this. It's sort of flattened out. It says dip the thing into powdered sugar. It's not working very well, so I'm gonna figure this out. These are gonna be very sugary. This is what the current stage looks like. They gotta go in the oven for 9 to 11 minutes, but I'm gonna do it at the 9-minute mark, just because they said they don't need to be brown golden. They should be looking like they're still doughy, because otherwise they gotta get that like white look to them, and my oven tends to overdo it sometimes when it comes to baking. My cookies have come out and they are currently cooling. There is still I didn't realize powdered sugar was not gonna melt on those, so I will try tapping the powdered sugar off once it comes to frosting. But for now, we're gonna make the frosting as they're cooling. I have the cooling rack here, but I have to leave them on the trays as they're really soft, and I guess that was the way they were supposed to be intended. I also didn't realize that the first step in this was for me to continue beating stuff with my beater, and so I had to take all the stuff out for it. I'm gonna make the frosting real quick. First thing that I need for it is that other half cup of butter that I said that I was just about like on the edge of not having, but I managed to squeeze it in. There's my butter. It looks weird because it's all on the edge. And then we're gonna add in the vanilla, the salt, and the powdered sugar. And I will do the heavy cream last. These pans are so close to me. It's making me nervous. Powdered sugar, salt, and vanilla. I gotta scroll all the way back to the top for this. So a dash of salt. Boop, boop. I did two just for different measures. And for vanilla, we need a half teaspoon. Got my spoons right here. Just a half teaspoon. There we go. And then we're gonna do the powdered sugar, which you just need a cup of, and I'm going to put that in slowly because it has to be blended with everything else to make this sort of fluffy. But I will come back in for the heavy cream and for the dye. That doesn't look anything like frosting, and I'm guessing that it's going to be once I put the best part in the liquid, which is supposed to be 2 tablespoons. Wow. Can you tell I work in a high school? And I can't say words out loud after a while. It says 2 tablespoons, but because of how dry it is, we will see if there needs to be more than just that. And I'm gonna blend this. I'm gonna keep blending this off camera so that blending noise doesn't get in the way. This is kind of getting thick. Heavy whipped cream really does the thing. So you saw what it looked like before. It looks like that. Now it's so light and fluffy. And to make it 10 times better, I got the yellow dye. Yes, if you don't never seen yellow dye, it looks orange, but it's actually yellow. I'm just gonna put 2 little drops in here and see what color it turns out. Hopefully I don't saturate it too much. So, 1 and 2. I'm gonna mix that, and then I'm gonna wait for the cookies to dry, and then it's time for some frosting and sprinkles. The cookies are now cooled off enough. I think that I can start frosting them. The big ones are really soft compared to the smaller ones. The smaller ones, they did exactly what I thought they were gonna do, and it was that they weren't supposed to brown on the, but some of them are browned on the bottom and on the sides because of the way I swished them down. And I tried patting off as much of this powdered sugar as I could. So here's one of the big, what is considered the bigger ones. I tried getting as much powder off. And then here's one of the smaller ones, as you can tell. It's brown on the bottom, but it will still taste good. We just won't look at those sides. Anyways, here is my yellow frosting. I know it is not the most beautiful color in the world, but yellow is my favorite color. Didn't know that. We're gonna frost them. And then I got sprinkles on the recipe, and I'm guessing this lady must have been British or just an old name for sprinkles. She said we're gonna put jimmies on there. I don't know what that is, but once I can figure out how to get this open, then I will do that. Good. Just open and sprinkle on there. And there's not supposed to be too many. So I'm going to frost one of these and one of the other ones, for example, and then I'm going to go ahead and frost and sprinkle the rest of these, and we will then see the final result. It said on the recipe to leave the brim open. As you know, in the Lofthouse cookies, they tend to leave the brim open, and these are still too warm because frosting is melting on top of them. So we're just gonna wait a little bit longer. I have finished frosting and sprinkling these cookies, and yes, the frosting looks like it's basically melting as we speak. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not a professional. I also don't care what mistake I have made because I do this just for fun. But here is the results. You can see. Aren't they beautiful? Not exactly a replica, but close enough. And I am getting told from time to time that nobody ever sees me actually ever eat my products that I make, and I do off camera. But since somebody asked, I guess I will eat this one because this one is incredibly soft for some reason, and I'm guessing it must have not have cooked all the way through. But that's okay if you see how beautiful this is. But tastes really good. It reminds me of the flavor of what they make like artificial birthday cakes out of. That is absolutely delicious. On a scale from 1 to 10, I would have to say probably like an 8. Welcome. So did you guys enjoy this video? I sure hope that you did. If you like this video, leave a like down below and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos like this. Or if you prefer me just doing books, then just tell me, because I like doing both things and this is a new series for me to try out. So stay tuned for more videos like this. Also turn on that notification bell for whenever I'm not being lazy. I'm not very much lazy anymore as I got so much stuff going on all the time. And comment down below if you liked Lofthouse cookies or not, because I do. I just can't have them a lot because they're so sugary and so sweet. And these are incredibly sweet too, but not as sweet because I know that they were made with love. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!